Good morning, viewers. It's Thursday morning, April 10, 2025, and I'm your host, Sunil Thakker of Sunny Talks Money. Welcome to ST Money 7 a.m. early morning news, where we provide you the latest, concise, and precise stock market wrap with accurate figures and numbers. President Trump on Wednesday catapulted US stocks to one of the biggest one day rallies in the past century with a single post on social media. The move started shortly after 1 p.m. in New York when the president's post on Truth Social lifted all three major indexes in minutes. At 1:18 p.m. ET, Trump posted on his social media platform Truth Social there would be a 90-day pause on his steep reciprocal tariffs on non-retaliating countries. More than 75 countries, Trump wrote, have called to negotiate a solution and have not, at my strong suggestion, retaliated in any way, shape, or form. Because of that, part of Trump's post read, I have authorized a 90-day pause and a substantial lowered reciprocal tariff during this period of 10%, also effective immediately. The market exploded higher in reaction. The about face in the expanding trade war jolted investors who had previously been fleeing for the sidelines. When the closing bell rang on Wall Street, the tech-heavy Nasdaq roared ahead 12%, its best day in 24 years. The S&P 500 added 9.5% in its biggest gain since 2008, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average moved ahead to 7.9%, its biggest day since 2020. The 2,963-point rally in the blue chip index was its largest point gain on record. For the S&P 500, it was the index's best day since 2008, while Nasdaq enjoyed its second largest one-day rally on record, topped only by a 14% gain back on January 3, 2001. Investors snatched up stocks and saved the questions for later. Trump's reciprocal tariffs on nearly 100 nations took effect overnight, including 104% tariff on Chinese imports. On Wednesday, Beijing said it would raise levies on US imports to 84% from 34%. In his earlier afternoon social media post, Trump wrote that he had raised the tariff imposed on China to 125%, effective immediately. Also under scrutiny was a sell off in US Treasuries. The yield on the 10-year note, the reference point of trillions of dollars in loans and securities, rose as high as 4.515%, the highest since February 20, on Wednesday, before retreating somewhat after the 10-year Treasury note was met by strong demand in an afternoon auction. The yield on the benchmark US 10-year notes rose 6.8 basis points to 4.328%. Bonds yields move opposite to prices. A sharp sell off in Treasury prices this week and reports of large liquidations of bonds had raised concerns about deteriorating market liquidity. The dollar index, which measures the greenback against a basket of currencies, including the yen and the euro, rose quarter of a percent to 103.03. The dollar was low before Trump's announcement. Gold prices jumped in the best day since 2023. Continuous contracts for the precious metal, seen as a heaven asset, rose to around $3,100 a troy ounce. Oil prices also jumped on tariff news. Brent crude rose $2.66 or 4.23% to settle at $65.48 a barrel. US West Texas Intermediate crude futures rose $2.77 or 4.65% to $62.35. The Magnificent Seven tech stocks gained more than $1.8 trillion in market value, a record. Nvidia led the way with a $440 billion market value gain as its stock value rose 19%. Tesla soared 23%. Apple and Meta platforms added 15%, while Amazon was up 15.3%. The upcoming US quarterly reporting period will offer more insights into health of corporate America, with several US banks, including JP Morgan Chase, due to report results on Friday. In other latest moves, Goldman Sachs threw out its previous prediction that the economy would fall into a recession, and Bloomberg rescinded their call for a recession. My take: worst case scenario is off the table. As gloom and doom had descended upon the markets, Trump's 90-day pause is, to put it mildly, a pretty big change. It was certainly the biggest day in financial history in recent memory. This was the pivotal moment investors had been waiting for. The timing couldn't have been better coinciding with the start of earnings season. However, uncertainty looms over what happens after the 90-day period, leaving investors to grapple with potential volatility ahead as they are trying to find their footing as the ground shifts beneath them on a minute by minute basis. A dose of relief indeed, though still uncertainty isn't headed to zero, a worst case scenario is off the table. That's the wrap for today, my dear viewers. And if you got value from this, please do subscribe, like, and share this video as much as possible. You can contact me at sd@sd-money.com for any further information. I'll see you again tomorrow morning. In the meantime, happy investing, stay inspired, and remember, it's all about money.